It's the end of an era for the Benton County. Andy Miller has been the elected prosecutor for Benton County for 36 years now. It's his last week in the job, and as the new prosecutor gets ready to take over the office, we're looking back on Andy Miller's career as the prosecutor for the last 9 election seasons and what he plans on doing next.
How would you say that you've changed as a prosecutor over the last 36 years?
I'm 36 years older.
In 1980, a deputy prosecuting attorney for Benton County started his first job out of law school. 6 years later, 33-year-old Andy Miller ran for Benton County prosecutor and won. Following his second re-election, he has run unopposed ever since.
I decided I wasn't going to run for another term. I was 69 years old.
His predecessor, Kurt Ludwig, was 53 years old when he retired.
Well, first of all, at the time, I thought 53 was old.
Miller recalled a coworker calling him on his own 53rd birthday.
He says, now you're as old as Kurt was when he retired. And I go, what? And I didn't think 53 was old anymore. And by the way, I don't think 69 is old anymore now.
The office, since Miller has taken over, has changed a lot. Of course, it's been 36 years. One thing that's changed is the Benton County prosecutors now try child abuse cases. Miller says hardly any were prosecuted when he began the job. They work on not only getting justice, but to hold offenders responsible and provide support for the children who experienced something horrible.
But also start the process of making sure that their child doesn't have long-term problems as a result of the abuse.
His colleagues say he's always been victim first.
The prosecutor's office and victim services the relationship is really important, and the partnership is huge. We've been really fortunate to have such a victim-centered prosecutor here.
He made it a priority to have the victims be part of the cases.
A big feature of his career is being a key role in bringing therapeutic courts into Benton and Franklin counties. It's a way for those who have committed crimes based on drug or alcohol addiction, mental illness, or if the criminal has a tie to the armed forces, to get a chance at changing things around.
Because having a criminal conviction, it really hurts getting a job, and it hurts finding an apartment, it hurts getting student aid to go back to school, and so there's a lot of incentive for people to go through the program.
At the end of each program, there's a graduation celebration where the person once convicted gets to shred their former charges. He says unlike a lot of elected prosecutors in the state, he continued to try cases himself.
It's all just very impressive because it's always been kind of like witnessing a dance that he does up there.
Most electeds turn into just a political position, managing and turning over the management of their office to their chief deputy prosecutors.
I think since I try cases, when I give that advice, I think that deputy prosecutors have listened and say, well, he knows what he's talking about. I sometimes wonder if somebody doesn't do that, I wonder what kind of credibility they're going to have with the deputy prosecutors in their office.
He says there are certainly downsides to the job. He says he sees people at their worst and people who are so sad.
People like Andy are greatly needed in public service, and I know him well enough to know that he will find ways to continue to serve even when he's out of office.
His 36 years mark the longest-running elected prosecutor in the state and the longest-running employee in Benton County. In the last 6 months, we've seen Andy Miller witness the beginnings of a staffed U.S. Attorney's Office in the Tri-Cities, his final drug court as the county prosecutor, and more. What's next for him? He hopes for more adventures.
The job has certainly changed over the years, but hopefully I've changed with it too.
And of course, I couldn't fit 36 years as the elected prosecutor for Benton County in a couple of minutes, but if you head over to our website later on tonight, yaktrinews.com, you can read even more about his experience serving the community.